In 2025, we did 31 million cash collected as a company, and we're on a massive growth spurt. So in this video, I explained to Ryan Clogg on a podcast my plan to get to 10 million a month over the next few years, and I've never shared this publicly. So this is a behind the scenes look at exactly what we're implementing in our company to scale right now. So if you're a high level operator, or even if you're somebody who's just starting off and want to see how I think about these things, you're gonna love this video.
What do you think is your next skill set evolution, or what's the gap?
Well, there's a couple, right? So I would say the biggest one I'm spending time on is the media side. I think the more I do content, the more the bar raises of oh my God, okay, I got to get to this level in terms of how I write YouTube videos, how I do the hooks, how I create open loops. I really got to just up my skill set on that. And then just compress the time it takes me down to do it. So I'll give you a good example. I can write a banger VSL, but I might spend 2 weeks on it. In the YouTube game, you can't really, sure, you could do that, but I want to put out 2 videos a week. So I need to get good enough to be able to also do it much quicker.
Yeah.
And then I'm also trying to figure out the short form side. So that's a whole thing there. The second thing is where I really want to take the company. We could just continue to do what we're doing now, and progressively, just by spending a little bit more on ads and hiring more salespeople, which we really have enough salespeople now. We just made 2 hires yesterday. So we're pretty much where we need to be. If we just don't do anything, and we just more and better of what we're doing, as Hormozy would say, we'll be at about 200 new sales a month for B2B. That, and this is kind of crazy, but to fully realize our front end revenue on the back end, it will take about 18 months to even 2 years, because so much of it compounds, and we get even second year renewals and all this stuff, right? But from the moment we hit and maintain 200 units a month, let's call it a year from there, just rough napkin math, we should double the company.
Yeah.
So just the B2B, 5 million a month. Then I'm rebuilding the RCA. I really want to build that mainly through organic. I don't really want to run a bunch of paid ads through it. Just especially B2C, the customers are way better organic. Yeah. So that I just want to get to 10 mil. I think that's for a B2C like that. I think that's a safe, good number. So that's 60, right? So then what's the next things? And by the way, if you like this content and you want to come to our next event where I'm gathering all entrepreneurs, people like Ryan, and we're talking about what's working in the industry, what's not working in the industry, and the lessons that we've learned, scaling to over 100 million in total revenue. We have an event coming up in our 8-figure boardroom mastermind. If you want to know more information about that, you can click the link in the description and it'll tell you all about it. So the next things I'm focusing on is essentially we're launching a new division that it's not to enterprise companies, but it's kind of called our enterprise division for enterprise pricing. Mm-hmm. So this is people who need enough reps. You would technically fall into this category if they need more than, let's say, 10 to 20 reps a year, to where you just pay us if you hire the rep. That's it. You might pay your first hire down, which might be $4,000 or $5,000, and then you just pay as you go. And then if you want to stop, you stop. We keep you in Slack. And then if you want to let us know you want more, that could be 2 years later, whatever. But it's just we send you people, you only pay us if you hire them. And then if they churn for whatever reason, we just credit it back to you and give you somebody else. Or we'll just refund you the payment. So it's no risk. And for much more higher volume people, it's much more economical than what we used to do, which is okay, to recruit, you kind of got to be in our mastermind. That's good for
what
people.
You mean for higher volume people? You mean
people who need 30 reps a year, 20 reps a year. They're trying to build a setter department from scratch. Or they're a roofing company and they need, pitching it. Or they're a roofing company
this is a live
that
pitch.
needs, I'll give you an example. We worked with this private equity company that was rolling up roofing companies. And, just to maintain 100 reps, which is where they're at, with a 10% churn, they need 10 reps a month, right? They're internal recruiters. They have to do the entire team. So they just need more firepower on the sales side. So we kind of want companies like that even just with their churn, they got to have a function that just keeps new reps coming in. So I'm launching that division to go after companies who have more of an ongoing need. And also, if they're above 5 to 10-ish reps in their current team, we can do any industry. The issue with doing any industry with where my business is at right now is the problem is if you're a roofer hiring your first rep, I can't really build, I probably could, but
Yeah,
we're not
sales Bible on
experts
the
at like
context. Yeah.
coming in and okay, I got to teach you on how to be a leader. I got to get you out of the roofing fulfillment and the roofing sales, build that. Like that's not really my specialty. But if you already have 10 sales reps in your roofing company, I mean, I can come in and tweak a lot of your processes, but at the same time, like your stuff's validated.
Yeah.
So I could just, as long as I can take your best 20% of reps and create a model from that, my recruiters, outbound, inbound, et cetera, they can get you those right people.
Yeah.
So then that opens us up to the whole market, which is, you could imagine, like that almost gives us a B2C level of scale, but with a B2B super high ticket
Yeah,
product.
it's like the hormones you go to small
So
business
that's kind of
route,
like the
yeah.
thing. Just doing more of what we're doing is priority number one. Launching this, I call it the broad 2.0 or like the enterprise division. That's sort of number two. Number three, and this is a contingency on if that upmarket approach works, or if it does work, we're still going to do this anyways, is we have like our recruiting division is almost a company in and within itself, and it's extremely good. So we can do, and we've already done all other hires, except like outside of sales too. So I'd like to go into a different sector completely, like home service techs, just to diversify and then have like a different brand that licenses and uses our recruiting as a shared service. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we would go after, let's say, home service companies and, hey, we'll place you techs.
Yep.
The nice thing about that is if you need to hire a tech, or if I do healthcare, if you need to hire a nurse, you don't need, with sales, you have to have a good offer in place. You have to have good lead generation. You have to be a decent sales leader for that hire to even work, or it's a very high churn risk. That's one of the biggest issues I have at my company is sometimes it's like, they might not have everything in place, and then like somebody churns. Isn't it our fault? Is it their fault? It's kind of tough. But if you just are a doctor in Miami and you don't have any of that stuff, but like you're busy and you want a nurse, you're willing to pay a nurse, whatever, we can get you a nurse. I don't need to consult you on all this other stuff.
You should just do telehealth.
So, and yeah, like getting virtual nurses for telehealth companies. So, because what I want to do is have, let's say, in the next 5 years, like this is what I've screwed up before. I had a portfolio of offers, but they were just random. I want to have a portfolio of offers, but really it's just, it turns us into not just a sales recruiting company, but a recruiting conglomerate that is diversified to these different industries. And that's really important because let's say AI replaces sales. I don't think that's going to happen, at least for the sales that we do anytime soon, but let's just say it does. Well, if I'm also doing electricians and placing those into companies, and there's a lot of data center development, like I'm going to be hedged in that way. Healthcare is probably not going to go anywhere, right? It's so heavily regulated. It's just going to be so tough. So like that's another good sector. Home service techs, if we're at the point where your HVAC person is a literal robot driving to your house and doing your unit, I don't know. We're living in a different world at that time. So that also is a good hedge.
Yeah.
And I'm also approaching, like, I built this business model with recruiting that essentially nobody else does, right? No other recruiters do this like extremely high volume. We're faster than almost all recruiters. We get all of our clients through ads. Very rare for recruiting. We do like a transactional high ticket sales model. Very rare for recruiting. So I built this like unique model. And this is the first time I'm stepping back and looking at first principles. And I'm like, okay, I've always assumed I had to do sales recruiting. But if I just approached this as like, I'm going to start a new recruiting business based on like macro data and economics and all this stuff, what is just like the best industry to get into? That's how I'm going to approach it in the future.
Yeah.
And then, the nice thing is the complexity, it's not building another company in the portfolio. It's really just, I got to get the marketing down, which can just be lead gen. That's the nice thing about B2B, which makes it a lot easier than doing low ticket. I just got to get the lead gen down. I can do that. And then I have an amazing distribution of sales directors. So I just got to place the right sales director, get the lead generation down, and then maybe we hire a couple specialized recruiters on our staff, but it's still in that same division because they're licensing from that staff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
So that's kind of like, and I think just penciling it out, it will take time because it's a service. That's the thing about B2B. It's not like this, but there's no reason that can't do 150 to 200 million a year.
Yeah.